If this is your first time playing Football Manager, then I'm going to show you what you need to do when you first get into the game. These are the 10 things you should do first when taking over a football club in Football Manager. Now, if you haven't already, I have done a video on setting up your game. Make sure you go check that out. Once you've done that, come back here and we'll show you the 10 things you should do as soon as you get into your club. So when you get in, you're going to be welcomed into your club and we're going to look at the 10 things you need to do first. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do, this is your emails on the left. You're going to have to go in and accept the club vision. You can negotiate this if you like, but often it's best just to accept it. I'm here as Coventry and we are meant to reach the Sky Championship playoffs. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. So that is step one. Done. We have found what our goal is. We can see that the club wants me to reach the Championship playoffs, be competitive in the FA Cup, and be competitive in the Carabao. So we know what we've got to do. This is our objective for this season. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to go and do the tactics introduction. We could begin the introduction. It'll do a little tutorial for you. You're going to click here into your tactics screen, and you're going to choose one of these tactics. It doesn't matter which for now because you can change it later. So just choose something, maybe one of the recommended ones. These top 4 tend to be pretty good for most teams. These bottom ones are a little more defensive minded. Maybe one of the top ones will do. Let's go vertical tiki-taka for Coventry. And then the same with your formations. You've got your in possession formation and your out of possession formation to choose here. So first we get to choose the in possession. Again, keep it simple if you're not sure. Just choose two that are, those two are the same. You can choose them. And then we've then set up our formation. Now we're going to come back. We're going to go back to our messages, back to the overview screen, or you can come into the messages, it doesn't matter which. I'm going to go to our responsibilities. Now this one I think is the most important one for new players, because when you first get into Football Manager there is so much to do and it can be so confusing. So I think what you need to do is turn off a load of stuff, have your staff handle it, and then as you get more familiar with the game you can go and turn it on and see what you like doing and see what you like playing around with. So we're going to go into the introduction to the responsibilities. He's going to tell us all the responsibilities that we can give off. So whether it be training, whether it be fixtures, whether it be tactics, whatever it is, I suggest you keep tactics and transfers. You for your first team, you do those. Everything else we're going to go off and delegate it to an appropriate member of staff. So when you get to the end of this introduction, instead of pressing end introduction, go to press responsibilities, and then we're going to see here, we're going to go into delegation. I'm going to go down each of these lists and have a look at the things that we can give off to our staff so we can learn them later on as we get more into the game. It's not going to stop you from doing any of the things. So we're going to go into staff responsibilities, and this is hiring and starring of staff, and we're just going to delegate all of this. So press the delegate to all recommended, press the confirm button at the bottom of the screen. It's just behind my head, somewhere here roughly. And then we're going to go into scouting, and we're going to do the same, confirm. We're going to go into transfers. Now this one we want to do ourselves, so we're going to leave the top 3 for us, the next 3 for us. Loan offers, we can delegate that one out because that's going to go to a member of staff. They'll get a hassle if you try to do them all. We're going to delegate out the under 21s for now, and we're going to delegate out the under 18s and the offers as well on both of those, and also the player contract discussions. If you want to do the contracts, you can keep it yourself, but we're at least going to delegate the under 21s and under 18s. So press delegate on both of those. You can leave your own contracts if you like, but you got to remember to do it around January time in case players start to think about leaving in the summer. So go press confirm on that. Media, if you want to do press conferences, go ahead. They do get very tiresome very quick. I think for now, delegate all to recommended because it's still going to give you the option of attending the press conference if you like. Training is pretty clunky in FM26 as it stands, so to be honest, I think you delegate this one out as well. Youth team training is already going to be delegated down here, but you will get your training email. If you do want to do it yourself and you want to learn how to do it, we're going to have a video on that later on. To be honest, I'm going to wait for them to fix it in FM26 and then we're going to do a video on it. But for now, I recommend you just delegate the training out. Tactics we're going to do ourselves, but you might want to set the opposition instructions to your assistant manager, and the rest down here will stay delegated. If you want to go in and do your under 21s, your under 18s tactics, you can. It's a lot of extra work if you're a new player, a lot to take on. So for now, I think you just delegate out the opposition instructions. You're going to have your team selection advice from your assistant manager, and again, press confirm. On match day, team talks, you can do the team talks. The team talks is pretty easy. If you do want to delegate it, you can delegate it. And again, this is all going to go to your assistants. Friendly matches, if you want to do the friendly matches, you can do them. if you just want to skip past them. And to be honest, there's not loads to be gained from doing the friendlies unless you want to watch your team and see how the tactic plays out. Some people love doing them. Some people skip past them or want to get to the important games. So if you want to do them, just leave it there. If you want to delegate it, delegate it. You can also have your staff arrange the friendlies, or you can do it yourself. And finally on this list is the set pieces. Again, if you want to do the set pieces, it comes along with your tactics. If you want to delegate it out, feel free to delegate it out. At the minute, I am doing the set piece tactic itself, but the takers list is being handled by my assistant manager. So we're now back at our messages. There are one or two other things you're going to have to go through, like the squad introduction and a couple other intros, but you can just use the continue button up at the top right to get to the next screen or the next screen. It's going to advance time when you press that button. So the next thing you're going to want to do is to come and look at how good your squad is. So you're going to go down to recruitment. Now this is slightly different on console version if you're playing on console, but you're going to come on to recruitment and you're going to press squad planner. And this is going to give you an overview of all those positions in that tactic you've selected, and you can click on any of these positions. You can press to suggest for everything on your assistant manager, and he's going to fill out all these positions. But you can click on any position and you can see what depth you have if you press that, what ability you have, like the best player you have in that position, and the various roles you have set as well. So if we go on to ability, we'll see we've got pretty much 3-star in every position. In terms of depth, maybe right back we have the least, although we have got 4 players that can play as a right back. If we go to left back, you can see we've got quite a few options. This little symbol here means this is a player who often plays in another position. So Jada Silva, for example, might be an important player in a different position. That said, that does seem to be bugged at the minute because it is giving me a goalkeeper saying he's the best first choice in another position. I don't think the goalkeeper is. Looking at this, I would suggest we probably need to look at getting another goalkeeper. All our goalkeepers are on a backup contract, so it might be a goalkeeper that you want to get, or whatever position you want. If you want to see maybe where your team needs a little bit of improvement, this is a great screen to do it. You can of course just do it from your squad screen as well and go through the positions, or you can go across in the match day and go to your tactics and again look at fill it out. You can press quick pick at the top here and it's going to fill it out with the best positions. If you press the down arrow, pick without restriction, pick best 11, and it's going to be your best 11 according to your system. So this gives us a good idea of the players we have in the team. Once we've worked out what we would like to buy and where we would like to improve, so let's say at Coventry we decided we want a goalkeeper, we're going to go into recruitment. Now I have got a whole video on transfers, so this is going to be the 5th thing you should do. Go into your transfers and try and buy someone, try and buy a player in. You can do it in a few ways. You can go to your player database and you can search through the players here. If you like, you can edit that search, make it only goalkeepers, and we're just going to see the goalkeepers that are available. Or you can also go into the transfer room in and you can set up an advert in order to get a goalkeeper. And of course, I've done a whole video on this, like I said, so make sure you go check out the transfers video if you want to know how to get players in and sell your players as well. Now, my tip number 6 is to come back to your inbox and press this little star button. And that is going to give you advice from your staff. So if you want advice on coaching, he will give you the coaching advice that you think you need. So for example, here, he's going to say, change your captain. We can apply that. So these little advice buttons can be quite helpful. Recruitment, we can see here it's saying offer a contract to Kai Andrews. You can go in and do that, for example. We can get advice on development here, and we can also get advice on staffing issues. You know, maybe we need to get in certain positions, certain staff that we are currently missing. So that little advice button is really handy. It's going to help you get to grips with some of the things that you need to do. Tip number 7, the next thing you want to do is you want to come into squad and you're going to go have a look at the dynamics of the team just to see what kind of support you've got, the team cohesion, club atmosphere. You can see your captains and your hierarchy down here. You can see who the important players are in your team. And really, these are the players that you don't want to annoy. So if they're telling you something, you probably want to act on it. At the bottom here, you've got other players. These are the ones that maybe you don't need to worry about so much. Then even if they get annoyed, it's not going to upset the whole team. Whereas if you upset the club captain, it's going to upset everyone. So make sure you're paying attention to the hierarchy because it can make a difference to how your team reacts to you and engages with you and gets annoyed with you. And that could cost you your job. Thing number 8 to do is to come here into match day, go into your tactics, and then you're going to want to go in here and just play around with what you want. So you can go in, you can change your team instructions to how you like. You can change your team shape. You can click on some of the players and change their role. So tweak your tactics to something you like. Don't overthink it. You don't have to change your tactics every week. If you don't win the game in your first week, but the team has looked like it's playing well, it takes a little bit of time for the team to get used to it. You'll see this familiarity button up here. You'll see over time, the familiarity of the team with the tactic you're playing will get better and better and better. And the intensity as well, if you keep an eye on that intensity, if it's too high, they're going to get tired quicker. So those two things are important to bear in mind. You want familiarity to go up with time, and you don't want your tactic. Well, you can play an intense tactic, but you got to be ready to rotate your team if you do. But just come in and have a play around with your tactic. Number 9, and it is time for a match. So when it's match day, you're going to select your team. You can come in and you can press these little down arrows to choose the player that you want. You can also drag and drop the players you want into the position you want, so like that, or you can drag them onto your bench as well. If you're not sure, you can press this quick pick button up here, and if you press the down arrow next to that, you've got a whole load of options for rotation, for picking your best 11, pick the entire team. You've got all sorts of things. You just quick pick. You can pick youth team players as well if you like. Have a play around, set the team up as you like. You can also, if you go into the team shape screen and go onto in possession or out possession, you can also move the positions around where you want them in possession and out possession. So let's say I want the striker to sit slightly deeper when out of possession, and I want 2 DMs when out of possession. We can do that, and we can just move it around. You'll see in possession they stay where they are, out of possession they move. And then with that, we are ready to go into our match. And that's it. Number 10, we are ready in our match. Our players are going to play themselves. We can change the tactics as it goes using these buttons at the top. We can also change the instructions. We can make substitutions as well. If you click on any of the players at the bottom, you can also substitute them off quickly by using this little quick bar. But you might want to pause it at the top right. Go into your tactics or into instructions and change it. We can also change the mentality using this quick one here. So if we need to go very attacking near the end of the game, we can do that. Maybe we're holding on to a narrow lead with only 10 men. Maybe we want to go to defensive. But other than that, the match is going to play out. Now, the thing to remember in Football Manager is you will win games, you will lose games. You can always start again. You can always try another club. You can always find a new club. It's not the end of the world. Winning every game just simply isn't possible in Football Manager unless maybe you're playing as PSG. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, have fun with it. It's your sandbox, it's your game. I nearly conceded already. Remember, in order to become Coventry City's Frank Lampard, he had to go through Everton first, where he barely won a game. So if there's anything else you're getting stuck on in Foot Manager and you'd like me to cover, let me know down in the comments, and I'll try and make a video on it if I can. Maybe we'll bring you more of these tips, but hopefully that gives you a start on your Football Manager journey, breaks down some of the core mechanics of the game. If you want to check out some of my other tutorials, I'm going to put some up on the screen there over the top of the match as the match goes on. Hey, look, we're actually controlling possession in this game. It looks pretty good. I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.